Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. Arlington County's COVID case site reported data as of September 20th. The total case count on that day was 60,544, an 8-day increase of 413. As for vaccinations, we examined Arlington County's vaccination tracker on September 21st, but the Promise Weekly Update only ran through September 18th. As of that date, 205,829 eligible Arlingtonians have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. They show that figure as 85.5% of their estimated eligible population of 240,119 Arlingtonians. The increase of 594 vaccinations over a period of 8 days is a relative improvement. Vaccinations are now outpacing new cases. 34,903 Arlingtonians, now including young children, remain unvaccinated as of September 18th. We do note that the still unreached 90% vaccination target was established at a time when a single dose was considered sufficient for most people. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 5 through 11-year-olds is still available at the following locations. Arlington Mill Community Center, that's located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, and Walter Reed Community Center, that's located at 2909 16th Street South. Walk-ins for 5 through 11-year-olds are available Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. In addition, free Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines are available for children as young as 6 months by appointment only. For more information, consult the Arlington County website. We have received the following email message from Arlington County, which reads as follows. The County Board invites the public to provide comments on a proposed ranked choice voting, RCV, method pilot for the 2023 County Board June primary election. An online public comment form is available now through November 4th, 2022 on the county's website. Based on the feedback, the board is considering holding a hearing at its November 2022 meeting for a resolution to make RCV the method of election for the Arlington County Board primary election candidates. If a resolution is passed, the Electoral Board and Registrar's Office will conduct additional outreach and education for candidates and the public. Concerning previous community and county board engagement on ranked choice voting, the Virginia General Assembly voted to enable localities across the Commonwealth to use ranked choice voting in local elections for city councils and boards of supervisors during the 2020 session. In fall 2021, the Arlington Electoral Board conducted a public engagement with Q&A and a mock election and held a joint work session with the county board to discuss this method of voting in the county. The board members expressed interest in soliciting public feedback and exploring a pilot program for the 2023 county board primary elections. The video of the October 5th, 2021 county board work session and the presentation are available on the county board meetings page. Here is some more information about ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is an election method that allows voters the option to rank candidates in order of preference, first, second, and third choice, and so on, though they are not required to do so. RCV differs from plurality voting, Arlington's current method, in which voters may only select one candidate. If a candidate receives more than half of the first choices, that candidate wins, just like in any other election. However, if there is no majority winner after counting the first choices, the race is decided by an instant runoff. The candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and voters who ranked that candidate as their first choice will have their votes count for their next choice. This process continues until a candidate emerges with more than half of the vote and is declared the winner. The threshold for winning in RCV is adjusted based on the number of seats to fill. A similar process of eliminating and electing candidates through rounds of counting occurs until all the seats are filled. For more information, visit the Ranked Choice Voting Resource Center and the County Board's website. Here's another message we received from the county about the future of outdoor dining or food study. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the county took extraordinary measures to make it easier for restaurants and bars to expand operations outside as they followed mitigation requirements. Temporary outdoor seating areas, TOSAs, are newly created or expanded outdoor spaces at restaurants, bars, or cafes. The county has committed to extending the temporary program at least through February 2023, while it conducts a study of its outdoor dining regulations and processes. The future of outdoor dining food study will examine which aspects of the more flexible TOSA program should be incorporated into Arlington's 2 approval pathways for permanent outdoor cafes. The county is seeking feedback from businesses and residents on TOSAs and general outdoor dining to inform future rules and regulations. Here is how to participate. Complete the online feedback form, which is open through October 21st. Weigh in on specific aspects of outdoor dining to help inform and standardize the policies and design guidelines surrounding the use of outdoor seating in Arlington County. Also, view the current TOSA's map online and subscribe to TOSA updates.
Here is a final reminder. There's a new location for the fall e-care drop-off. Arlington's next pop-up drop-off for household hazardous materials and old electronics is set for Saturday, October 8th from 8:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. at Wakefield High School, 1325 South Dinwiddie Street. Metal items and bicycle donations will not be accepted during this first-time use of Wakefield. Vehicles should access the drop-off routing from South Columbus Street at South George Mason Drive. The county suggests coordinating with your neighbors to combine loads and save trips. This event is for Arlington residents only. For many unwanted items, the county offers safe, easy drop-off and even curbside options for proper disposal year-round. There is an online list of which materials will and will not be accepted. The website provides details on household hazardous materials such as paint, motor oil, and pesticides, metal and appliances, fluorescent lights including CFLs, electronics, batteries, and a "Where Does It Go?" disposal guide for hundreds of item types. Next up, the Northern Virginia Emergency Managers, or NVERS, is providing an opportunity for public comment on the Northern Virginia 2022 Hazard Mitigation Plan, or NOVA HMP, update. The public comment period will be open through October 8, 2022. The 2022 NOVA HMP is a multi-jurisdictional plan that covers the counties of Arlington, Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William, the cities of Alexandria, Fairfax, Falls Church, Manassas, and Manassas Park, and the towns of Clifton, Dumfries, Haymarket, Herndon, Leesburg, Lovettsville, Middleburg, Occoquan, Purcellville, Quantico, Round Hill, and Vienna. The plan update also incorporates the concerns and needs of other stakeholder participants. Hazard mitigation is defined as any sustained action taken to reduce or eliminate the long-term risk to human life and property from hazards. A hazard mitigation plan identifies the hazards a community or region faces, assesses their vulnerability to the hazards, and identifies specific actions that can be taken to reduce the risk from the hazards. The Federal Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 requires communities to update their plan every 5 years to maintain eligibility for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA's, Hazard Mitigation Assistant, HMA, grant programs. The NOVA HMP, required to be updated every 5 years, aims to minimize or eliminate the long-term risk to human life and property from known hazards such as droughts, floods, winter weather, high winds, and other major disasters. Hazard mitigation efforts could include projects such as flood channel clearing, road and bridge design changes, property buyouts, building code changes, or public alert systems. Public comment period is a time when they encourage members of the public who live and work in Northern Virginia to provide feedback to ensure that NOVA HMP reflects the priorities and concerns of the community and proposes action items to address those risks. Members of the public can also review the results of the jurisdiction's risk analysis, which was guided in part by the results from an earlier community survey and is included in the draft plan. After the comment period closes on October 8th, the results will be compiled and included in the updated plan that will be submitted for review and approval by the Virginia Department of Emergency Management and Federal Emergency Management Agency before being presented to counties, cities, and towns for final adoption. Details can be found at https://www.nvers.org/HMP. Here is how to share your comments. Send comments or questions on the draft plan no later than 5:00 p.m. on October 8th to NOVA 2022 public comment at IEM.com. Please review the plan documents and note which documents your comments pertain to upon submission. That's enough news for this week. Now it's time for Community Bulletin Board, or CBB.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Our first event comes from the Arlington Public Library. The Read Between the Lines Book Club meets on the first Tuesday of each month. The October selection is Transcendent Kingdom by Rya Gayasi. It is described as a novel about faith, science, religion, and family that tells the deeply moving portrait of a family of Ghanaian immigrants ravaged by depression and addiction and grief, narrated by a fifth-year candidate in neuroscience at Stanford School of Medicine, studying the neural circuits of reward-seeking behavior in mice. Registration is required. Attendance is limited to 15 people. For the current policies on masking, see the Library Operations Update. For more information, call 703-228-0332. That's on Tuesday, October 4th from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. in the Campbell Room at Shirlington Branch Library, 4200 Campbell Avenue. Our next event is for families. Join in the fun at the park. You can meet a naturalist or historian and discover the nature and history of Arlington. The staff person may bring hands-on learning items, artifacts, or activities. The event is free, but it will be canceled if it's raining. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-952-T. That's on Wednesday, October 5th from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. at Doctors Run Park, 1301 South George Mason Drive. Our next CBB event is for families. It's called the Journey of the Eels Campfire, and the cost is $5. The whole family is invited to join in for lots of old-fashioned fun and, of course, s'mores, which explains the $5 cost. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-852-C, and that's on Friday, October 7th from 8 o'clock to 9:30 a.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 Military Road. Our next CBB event is called Adapted Nature Hike. All are welcome to join in on a leisurely paced hike through a park. There are bathrooms available, and forested trails will be accessible, smooth, and shaded for a fun hike to explore and examine whatever you discover. The trails are not completely flat, but there will be benches for rest along the way. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-952-N. That's on Saturday, October 8th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Barcroft Park, 4200 South 4 Mile Run Drive. Our final CBB event is called Owl Night Hike. Have you ever heard an owl hoot in the forest? Join in for a sunset hike to learn all about owls, their adaptations, how to use binoculars, and to practice your calls. Who knows? Maybe an owl will hoot back. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 612-952-Y, and that's on Saturday, October 8th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. Our first event is called Ice Cream Taste, Dairy or Non-Dairy. Can you guess which is which? Join 55 Plus Center Director Jennifer Weber for a taste test that will have you guessing whether non-dairy ice creams on the market can stack up to the originals. If you were already dairy-free, just come on in for the tastes. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-501-08, and that's on Tuesday, October 4th from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Walter Reed Community Center, 2909 16th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 Plus membership is required. Our next event is called Movie Matinee. Steal away and catch some great afternoon entertainment at Lubber Run. This time there's a screening of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It's an action-packed comedy starring Nicolas Cage, and it's rated R. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-804-01. That's on Wednesday, October 5th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 300 North Park Drive. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, Travel Gurus, Norway. Are you interested in experiencing new places? Well, here is your opportunity to learn about destinations near and far from local travel gurus and start planning your next trip. Experienced traveler Lowell Nelson will share his recent travel experiences in Norway, including beautiful fjords, mountains, glaciers, and waterfalls. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-400-27, and that's on Wednesday, October 5th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Our next event is called Life in the Fast Lane. RC, that is remote control, cars are a favorite hobby of Walter Reed facility manager Mahmoud Amedian. Watch as Mahmoud demonstrates the speed of his collection, with possible speeds reaching up to 100 miles per hour. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-400-35. That's on Thursday, October 6th from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock noon at Walter Reed Community Center, 2909 16th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Finally, in 55 plus news, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, and Samhain. Did you know that Halloween falls halfway between the fall equinox and the winter solstice? Astronomical observations such as the equinox and solstice have shaped our calendar, and with it the timing of annual festivals. Come learn about calendars, astronomy, and fun fall facts. You can register online at the Parks and Recreation website. The activity number is 911-400-31, and that's on Friday, October 7th from 11 o'clock a.m. to 12 noon at Luberon 55 Plus Center, 300 North Park Drive. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 plus news.
And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.
You tell me that my people came across the sea, and that somehow this will help you in defining me. You tell me there's a reason that I've got to choose, and if I don't take a stand, then there's something I'll lose. Am I black? Am I white? Am I something not quite? Am I yellow or red? Is it all in my head? Am I brown? Am I green? Am I something between? If that's how you say, then you're not seeing tears.